What happens when a woman learns to embrace her solitude? When she no longer fears silence but welcomes it like an old friend, when she is no longer seeking approval, validation, or constant company, she becomes something truly extraordinary, someone the world cannot easily define, manipulate, or break. In a world that often teaches women to seek comfort in others, a woman who thrives in solitude is seen as an anomaly, and she is certainly not to be underestimated. Because a woman who spends time alone discovers a strength that few can comprehend. She builds a fortress within herself, one that no storm, no betrayal, and no adversity can shake. Today, I am going to show you why a woman who enjoys her own company is the most dangerous force of all. And by the time I'm done, you might start to see solitude not as a weakness, but as the greatest power a woman can possess. Here's your expanded speech segment for key point 1. There is something undeniably powerful about a woman who can stand on her own, not because she has to, but because she chooses to. A woman who is comfortable in her own presence does not seek external validation. She does not wait for someone else to define her worth. She walks into a room and you can feel it, the energy, the quiet confidence, the certainty that she does not need anyone to complete her. That kind of power is rare, and that kind of woman is dangerous, because a woman who spends time alone is a woman who has learned to rely on herself. And when you learn to rely on yourself, you become unstoppable. You start to realize that your happiness is not in the hands of another person, that your dreams are not dependent on someone else's approval. You learn that solitude is not loneliness. It is a gift. It is the space where you meet yourself, where you grow, where you sharpen your mind and deepen your understanding of who you are and what you want. Think about it. When a woman is constantly surrounded by people, constantly caught up in the noise of the world, she doesn't always have the time to listen to her own voice. But a woman who embraces solitude, she listens. She listens to the quiet. She listens to the lessons hidden in the stillness. And she listens to herself. And when you can truly listen to yourself, when you can sit in silence and be at peace, you start to build something that no one can take from you: self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency means that whether people praise you or criticize you, it does not shake you. Whether someone stays or walks away, it does not break you. You are not waiting for someone to come and save you, because you have already saved yourself. And that, my friends, makes you the most dangerous kind of woman. The kind that does not need permission to exist fully, boldly, and unapologetically. When you can stand on your own, you walk differently. You think differently. You move differently. Because you are no longer looking for security in someone else. You have built it within yourself. And when you have built your own foundation, you are not afraid of losing anything, because you know that no matter what happens, you will be just fine. And let me tell you, people notice that. They notice when you are the kind of woman who does not need a room full of people to feel whole. They notice when you carry yourself with the kind of quiet strength that does not demand attention, but commands respect. And some people will admire you for it. Others will be intimidated by it. But either way, they will know they are in the presence of a woman who is not easily moved, not easily controlled, and certainly not easily broken. That is the power of solitude. It builds something in you that no one else can give you and no one else can take away. It gives you the ability to trust yourself, to make decisions without second guessing, to walk through life with a certainty that cannot be shaken by fleeting opinions or temporary circumstances. So the next time someone tells you that spending time alone is sad, or that it means you are missing out, smile, smile. Because you know the truth. You are not missing out. You are building something. You are growing. You are strengthening the foundation that will carry you through every storm, every setback, every challenge. And when the time comes for you to rise, to step into your full power, to take up space in this world with no apology, you will be ready. Because a woman who has mastered solitude has mastered herself, and a woman who has mastered herself, not just the surface level version of who she is, not just the identity the world has given her, but the woman she has come to understand in the quiet moments, away from the noise, away from the expectations, away from the pressures to be anything other than who she truly is. That kind of woman is dangerous because she is rooted. She is unshakable. She moves through life with a sense of certainty that does not need validation, does not seek approval, does not waver in the face of doubt. A woman who spends time alone gets to know herself in ways most people never will. She is not afraid to sit with her thoughts, to examine her emotions, to question her fears, to confront her past, and to dream about her future without limitations. She is not running from herself. She is running toward herself. And that level of self-awareness, that is power, that is freedom. Because when you know who you are, truly know who you are, you become immune to the games people play. You are not easily manipulated by flattery or broken by criticism, because neither defines you. You do not change who you are to fit into places you have outgrown. You do not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You do not silence your voice just because it makes others uneasy. You stand firm, knowing that your worth is not determined by how many people approve of you, but by how deeply you approve of yourself. It is in solitude that a woman sharpens her mind, strengthens her intuition, and cultivates a relationship with herself that is built on honesty, respect, and love. She does not need distractions to fill a void, because there is no void. She has done the work. She has faced the hard truths. She has healed the wounds that once made her doubt her value. She has taken the time to understand what she needs, what she deserves, and what she will no longer accept. And let me tell you, when a woman reaches that level of clarity, she becomes a force that cannot be swayed. She walks into rooms with a quiet confidence that does not beg to be noticed, but demands to be respected. She speaks with a wisdom that does not come from the opinions of others, but from the depth of her own understanding. She carries herself with a presence that makes it clear she is not looking for someone to complete her, because she is already whole. Some people will be drawn to that energy. Others will be intimidated by it. But either way, they will feel it. Because a woman who knows herself is a woman who cannot be controlled. She is not easily influenced by trends, by peer pressure, by the ever-changing standards of what a woman should be. She defines herself, and that in itself is an act of rebellion. But make no mistake, this kind of self-awareness does not come easily. It takes time, it takes courage, it takes sitting with the uncomfortable truths. It takes unlearning the things the world has told you about who you should be and instead discovering who you were meant to be. It takes choosing yourself day after day, moment after moment, even when the world tells you that your worth is determined by how much you give to others, how much you sacrifice, how much you shrink. And yet, when you do the work, when you truly embrace yourself, when you understand yourself so deeply that nothing can shake your foundation, you realize something powerful. There is nothing more dangerous than a woman who does not need permission to be exactly who she is. Strength is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It is something you forge in the quiet, in the stillness, in the moments when no one is there to lift you up but yourself. A woman who spends time alone is a woman who has had the space to develop that strength. Not the kind that shouts, not the kind that demands to be seen, but the kind that is unshakable, untouchable, undeniable. The kind that no one can take from her. And that is what makes her dangerous. Because a woman who has learned to stand alone is a woman who does not fear the storm. She is the storm. She has weathered her own battles, faced her own demons, and learned that no matter what happens, she has the power to survive it. There is a resilience that comes from solitude, from the nights when she had to figure it out on her own, from the days when she had to push forward without reassurance, from the moments when she had to be her own motivation. That kind of woman does not break easily. She does not fold under pressure. She does not crumble when things get hard. The world tries to tell women that strength comes from how much they can endure for others, how much they can give, how much they can sacrifice. But real strength is knowing when to choose yourself. It is knowing when to walk away, when to say no, when to stand firm, even when the world expects you to bend. And that kind of strength comes from knowing who you are, from spending time alone and understanding your own mind, your own heart, your own limits. A woman who has spent time alone has faced herself. She has sat with her thoughts, confronted her fears, and learned to be comfortable in her own presence. She has not relied on distractions to escape her reality. She has faced it head on. And that is where true power is found, because once you have faced yourself, once you have made peace with your past, your scars, your insecurities, there is nothing left to fear. There is nothing anyone can say or do that can shake you, because you have already done the hardest work. And people feel that. They see it in the way you carry yourself, in the way you move through the world with quiet confidence, in the way you remain calm when others panic. Some will admire you for it, some will resent you for it, but none will be able to ignore it. Because strength, real strength, is undeniable. It does not need to prove itself. It does not need to be loud. It simply is. A woman who has built her own strength does not beg for respect. She commands it. Women who has built her own strength does not beg for respect. She commands it. She does not chase people who do not value her, because she knows her worth. She does not fear losing anyone, because she has never lost herself. That is the power of a woman who has learned to be alone. She does not look for completion in another person, in a title, in an achievement, because she knows she is already whole. And that more than anything makes her unstoppable. She is the kind of woman who does not need to explain herself. She does not need to seek approval. She does not need to follow the path others expect her to take. She moves at her own pace, to the beat of her own rhythm, because she trusts herself. She knows that no matter what life brings, she will rise to meet it. She will stand tall. She will keep moving forward. Because once you have built that kind of strength, once you have discovered that kind of resilience within yourself, there is no going back. There is no settling for less than what you deserve. There is no allowing the world to shrink you. There is only growth. There is only power. There is only the knowing that you are enough, just as you are. There is something powerful about a woman who makes decisions for herself. A woman who does not hesitate, does not second guess, does not look around the room waiting for someone else to tell her what to do. A woman who trusts her own judgment, who follows her own path, who does not need the world's approval to move forward. That kind of woman is dangerous, not because she is reckless, but because she is certain of who she is, certain of what she wants, and most importantly, certain that she does not need anyone else to validate her choices. When a woman spends time alone, she learns how to listen to herself, to her intuition, to the quiet voice inside that the world constantly tries to drown out. She does not make choices based on pressure, based on fear, based on what others expect of her. She makes them because they are right for her. And when a woman reaches that level of clarity, she stops waiting for permission. She stops hesitating, stops asking, what will they think? And starts asking, what do I want? That kind of confidence is rare, because too often women are taught to seek guidance before they act, to question themselves before they speak, to look for reassurance before they step forward. But a woman who has spent time alone has trained herself to think independently. She does not need a crowd to validate her direction. She does not need a second opinion to know what is right. She does not wait to be chosen. She chooses herself. And that changes everything. Because when a woman stops waiting for others to decide for her, she takes full control of her life. She does not stay in places that no longer serve her. She does not hold on to people who drain her energy. She does not settle for things that do not align with her purpose. She moves forward with confidence, with decisiveness, with a knowing that comes from within. People will notice. Some will be inspired by it. Others will be intimidated, because a woman who trusts herself cannot be manipulated. She cannot be controlled. She cannot be convinced to play small, to quiet her voice, to doubt her own worth. She sees through false promises, through empty words, through anything that does not align with the truth she has built within herself. And make no mistake, this kind of clarity does not come easily. It comes from experience. It comes from making mistakes, from falling and getting back up, from learning not just about the world, but about yourself. It comes from spending time alone, from sitting with your own thoughts, from asking yourself the hard questions. Who am I? What do I truly want? What kind of life do I want to build? And when a woman takes the time to answer those questions honestly, she stops living on autopilot. She stops following paths that were never meant for her. She stops making decisions out of obligation, out of fear, out of the need to be liked. A woman like that does not waste time explaining herself. She does not seek approval. She does not apologize for making choices that protect her peace, her happiness, her future. She moves with a purpose that is unshakable. She moves with an awareness that allows her to see what others miss. She moves with a confidence that says, I know exactly who I am, and I will not be swayed. That is the power of a woman who makes her own decisions. She is not waiting for life to happen to her. She is happening to life. And when a woman reaches that level of clarity, of certainty, of trust in herself, nothing can stop her. Nothing can shake her. Nothing can hold her back, because she is no longer looking outside for the answers. She has already found them within. There is something undeniably powerful about a woman who does not seek validation, a woman who does not shape herself based on the opinions of others, who does not look around the room for approval before she speaks, who does not measure her worth by how much she is accepted. That kind of woman is dangerous because she is free, free from the need to be liked, free from the fear of judgment, free from the invisible chains that keep so many people confined to lives that do not fulfill them. A woman who spends time alone learns to validate herself. She does not need constant reassurance because she has already built a foundation of self-acceptance that does not waver. She has spent enough time with herself to know that she is enough. She does not rely on compliments to feel beautiful. She does not need applause to feel accomplished. She does not depend on relationships to feel whole. She has already made peace with who she is, and that peace cannot be taken from her. When a woman reaches that point, she moves differently. She does not seek attention, she commands it, not by trying to be seen, not by performing, not by proving anything, but simply by being. Her energy shifts the room, not because she is the loudest, not because she demands recognition, but because she radiates something rare: certainty. She is certain of her worth, certain of her path, certain that she does not need anyone else's permission to take up space. And people feel that. Some will be drawn to it, some will be threatened by it, but all will respect it, because when a woman does not seek validation, she cannot be controlled. She is not easily manipulated by praise, nor is she broken by criticism. She understands that neither defines her. She does not live for approval, so she is not afraid to speak the truth. She's not afraid to set boundaries. She is not afraid to walk away from people who do not respect her, because she does not rely on their acceptance to feel whole. This kind of woman cannot be guilted into staying in places that drain her. She cannot be shamed into thinking she is too much or too little. She cannot be convinced to settle for anything less than what she knows she deserves, because she has already done the work. She has already sat with herself in silence, in solitude, in moments where there was no applause, no validation, no one there to tell her she was worthy. And she has already decided that she is. That is the difference. That is what makes her unstoppable. She is not waiting for anyone else to tell her she is good enough. She already knows. She is not looking to the world to give her confidence. She has already built it within herself. And that is why she is dangerous, because there is no greater power than a woman who stands fully in her truth, who does not shrink, who does not seek approval, who does not bend to fit into places she has outgrown. The world will always have opinions. People will always have something to say. But a woman who does not seek validation does not need to respond. She does not need to argue, to defend, to prove anything to anyone. She simply continues to rise, to grow, to evolve, knowing that her worth has never been up for debate. There is something unshakable about a woman who is at peace with herself, a woman who has spent enough time alone to understand that happiness is not found in someone else's hands, that fulfillment is not something the world can give or take away, that true joy comes from within. That kind of woman is powerful because she is untouchable. She is not chasing anything. She is not searching for something outside of herself to complete her. She has already arrived. A woman who has learned to be alone has also learned to enjoy her own company. She does not fear silence, does not need distractions, does not feel lost when she is by herself. She has built a relationship with herself that is strong, unwavering, deeply rooted. She knows what she loves, what brings her peace, what makes her soul come alive. She does not wait for someone else to give her those things. She creates them for herself. And that is what makes her so rare. Most people spend their lives running from loneliness, from stillness, from the discomfort of facing themselves. But a woman who has embraced solitude has faced all of it. She has sat with her thoughts, with her fears, with her past, and instead of running, she has healed. She has learned how to comfort herself, how to motivate herself, how to be her own source of strength. And once a woman reaches that level of peace, she becomes untouchable, because no one can take away something that was never dependent on them in the first place. When a woman is at peace, she moves differently. She does not chase, does not beg, does not force things to fit where they do not belong. She understands that what is meant for her will come and what is not will leave. And she welcomes both with grace. She is not bitter, not angry, not desperate. She simply trusts. Trusts herself, trusts her journey, trusts that she is exactly where she is meant to be. And that trust changes everything. It makes her fearless. It makes her bold, because she is no longer held back by the fear of loss. She is no longer weighed down by the need to please. She does not stay in places that do not honor her, because she knows she is not losing anything by walking away. She does not hold on to people who do not see her worth, because she knows her value does not decrease based on someone else's inability to recognize it. People notice that kind of peace. It is undeniable. It is magnetic, because deep down, everyone wants that kind of freedom. Everyone wants to feel whole, to feel secure, to feel enough. And when they see a woman who has already found that within herself, it challenges them, it inspires them. Sometimes it intimidates them, because a woman who is truly at peace cannot be controlled. She cannot be manipulated, cannot be shaken, cannot be made to question herself. She has already done the work to build a foundation so strong that no outside force can break it. That is why she is dangerous, because she is no longer playing by the world's rules. She is no longer looking for love, success, happiness, or validation in places that cannot provide them. She has already found them within. And when a woman reaches that level of self-contentment, nothing can hold her back. Nothing can stop her from living fully, loving freely, and moving through life with a quiet, unshakable power that needs no explanation. She simply is.